On a cool evening in Los Angeles, under the bright lights of the Dolby Theater, Will Smith stood tall on the Oscars stage. It was supposed to be one of the greatest nights of his life, a celebration of art, talent, and achievement. But as the cameras rolled and millions tuned in, everything changed in an instant. With a single impulsive act, Will slapped Chris Rock live on national television. The world gasped. Social media exploded. Critics pounced. And just like that, the charming larger-than-life star who had captivated audiences for decades became a figure of controversy. But here's the thing, there's more to this story than meets the eye. Much more. You see, what most people didn't know then and wouldn't fully understand until later was that there was another side to Will Smith. A side so hidden, so deeply personal, that even those closest to him barely knew about it. This wasn't just about the slap or the fallout, it was about who Will really was behind closed doors. As the dust settled after the scandal, whispers began to circulate among insiders. These weren't baseless rumors or tabloid gossip. No, these were facts that would force everyone to rethink everything they thought they knew about Will. Imagine sitting in your living room, scrolling through headlines, and suddenly reading something that makes you stop mid-scroll and say to yourself, "Wait, what?" That's exactly what happened when the truth came out. Now picture this scene. While walking down a quiet street in Philadelphia, where he grew up. He's wearing a soft gray hoodie with the hood pulled back slightly, revealing his signature wavy hair cut short but still styled neatly. His jeans are dark blue, slightly faded at the knees, and his sneakers are white with faint scuffs from years of use. In his hands, he carries a simple leather folder filled with papers not contracts or movie scripts, but documents detailing his secret life. Yes, secret. And no, we're not talking about some spy thriller plotline here. We're talking about reality. The golden hour bathes the city in warm light as shadows stretch long across the pavement. The air smells faintly of rain, though none has fallen yet. Around him, kids play basketball on cracked courts, their laughter echoing off brick buildings. For a moment, Will pauses by a mural painted on the side of a community, center a vibrant depiction of hope and resilience. He stares at it thoughtfully, his expression unreadable. Is he reminiscing, planning, or simply reflecting on the choices that led him here? And that's when the first hint drops. In the weeks following the Oscars scandal, as the world fixated on Will Smith's explosive actions and their consequences, a series of unexpected revelations began to surface. These weren't tabloid fabrications or sensationalized rumors. These were facts that painted an entirely different picture of the man behind the headlines. Behind the scenes, investigators and journalists dug deeper into Will's life, uncovering evidence that would shock even his most ardent critics. It started with leaked bank documents showing large sums of money being transferred to various charitable organizations over the past decade. At first glance, these transfers might have seemed like routine donations from a wealthy celebrity, but they weren't. Each transaction was meticulously planned, deliberate, and often anonymous. There were no press releases, no photo opportunities, no attempts to capitalize on goodwill for publicity. It was clear that Will wasn't doing this for recognition, he was doing it because it mattered. As more details emerged, trusted insiders came forward to share what they knew. One such person was Sarah Thompson, Will's personal assistant of 10 years. In a rare interview, she described how Will had spent countless hours poring over grant applications, meeting with community leaders, and personally visiting projects he supported. He doesn't just write checks, Sarah said, her voice tinged with admiration. He gets involved, he listens, he cares. These efforts spanned a wide range of causes: education reform, healthcare access, criminal justice advocacy, and racial equality. For instance, Will funded scholarships for underprivileged children, ensuring they could attend top-tier schools without financial burden. He also invested in programs providing free mental health services to marginalized communities, a cause close to his heart, after witnessing the struggles of friends and family members. And perhaps most surprisingly, he played a pivotal role in freeing several wrongfully convicted individuals through partnerships with legal aid organizations. The revelation sent ripples through Hollywood and beyond. Fans who had once condemned him began to reconsider their stance. Critics, though still skeptical, admitted there was more to Will than met the eye. Even Chris Rock, during a later interview, acknowledged the complexity of the situation, saying, "Maybe we don't know everything about him." Now imagine this scene. Will, sitting at a large wooden desk in his home office, surrounded by stacks of papers and binders filled with project reports. The room is softly lit by warm daylight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting golden hues across the space. On the wall hangs a framed quote, "Do good because you can, not because you must." His short, wavy hair is neatly styled, and he wears a crisp white button-down shirt with rolled-up sleeves, exuding both professionalism and approachability. Across the desk lies one of the many letters he receives daily, this one, from a young girl whose scholarship he funded. Her words thank him for giving her a chance at a brighter future, and as Will reads them, a small smile spreads across his face. And that's when the second hint drops. As the world grappled with the revelation of Will Smith's secret life, deeper layers of his commitment to creating positive change began to emerge. This wasn't just about writing checks or attending high-profile charity galas. It was about rolling up his sleeves and diving headfirst into projects that mattered deeply to him. For years, Will had worked tirelessly behind the scenes, often putting himself at risk to ensure his efforts made a tangible difference in communities where hope seemed scarce. Take, for example, the time he spent volunteering at a youth center in one of Philadelphia's toughest neighborhoods. Every Saturday morning, rain or shine, Will would show up wearing simple Clothiza black t-shirt with the logo of the center, faded jeans, and sturdy sneaker sands, spend hours mentoring young people who were eager to learn but lacked opportunities. He taught them everything from basic carpentry skills to public speaking techniques, all while sharing stories of his own struggles growing up in West Philadelphia. The kids called him Coach Will, and to them, he wasn't a movie star, he was someone who believed in their potential. Then there was the story of Marcus Johnson, a wrongfully convicted man whose case Will had personally taken on after reading about it in a local newspaper. Over 2 years, Will collaborated with legal experts, poring over evidence and advocating tirelessly until Marcus was finally exonerated. When Marcus walked out of prison a free man, tears streaming down his face, he hugged Will so hard it nearly knocked him off his feet. "You gave me my life back," Marcus said, his voice trembling with emotion. In that moment, Will realized the true power of using his platform not for fame, but for justice. But these weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a larger pattern of dedication. From funding educational programs in rural areas to supporting mental health initiatives in underserved communities, Will's work spanned continents and cultures. And yet, despite the scale of his contributions, he remained humble, insisting that his role was simply to amplify the voices of those already doing the hard work. Now, picture this scene. Will standing in front of a classroom filled with students at an inner city school. The room is modest, with chipped paint on the walls and worn-out desks, but the atmosphere crackles with energy. Sunlight filters through partially drawn blinds, casting soft patterns across the floor. Will wears his signature style dark jeans, a navy blue blazer, and polished leather shoes, but today, there's no tie. His short, wavy hair is neatly styled, and his expression radiates warmth as he engages with the students. One girl raises her hand hesitantly, asking how she can follow her dreams despite the challenges she faces. Will leans forward slightly, making eye contact, and says, "Listen, I've been where you are. Believe in yourself and don't let anyone tell you what you can't do." And that's when the third hint drops. For the AI-generated photo prompt, a middle-aged man stands in front of a classroom in an urban school setting. The room has chipped paint on the walls, worn-out wooden desks arranged neatly, and sunlight filtering through partially drawn blinds, creating soft geometric patterns on the floor. The man wears dark jeans, a navy blue blazer, and polished leather shoes with no tie. His short wavy hair is styled neatly, and his expression conveys warmth and encouragement. Students sit attentively, some raising their hands to ask questions. A young girl near the front looks hopeful yet uncertain. Lighting is natural, soft, and golden, highlighting the intimate interaction between the teacher and students. Perspective is medium distance, focusing on the man and the classroom dynamic. The scandal that unfolded in the wake of the Oscars slap-forced Will Smith to confront his deepest insecurities and personal struggles aside of him that had remained hidden from public view for years. For someone who had built a career on charisma, charm, and an unshakable confidence both on screen and off, this was no easy feat. But as the world scrutinized his actions, Will found himself reflecting on moments in his life when he felt lost, unsure, and vulnerable. It wasn't just about the slap or the backlash, it was about the weight of expectations placed upon him as a global icon. Growing up in West Philadelphia, Will had always been driven by a desire to prove himself, to rise above circumstances that could have easily held him back. And while he achieved unimaginable success, the pressure to maintain an image of perfection took its toll. "People see me as this larger-than-life figure. Will once confided in a close friend, but inside, I'm just trying to figure things out like everyone else." As the controversy raged on, Will retreated temporarily from the spotlight, using the time to reflect deeply on his actions and their consequences. He began journaling, pouring his thoughts onto paper in an effort to process what had happened and why. In one entry, he wrote, "We all carry baggage, things we don't talk about, fears we bury deep down. That night at the Oscars, it all came rushing to the surface." This introspection marked the beginning of a transformative journey, one where Will faced his demons head on. But vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength. Slowly but surely, Will started opening up not just to those closest to him, but to the world. During a rare interview, he spoke candidly about his struggles with self-doubt, anger management, and the pressures of fame. His words resonated with fans who saw glimpses of themselves in his story. "I've made mistakes," he admitted, his voice steady yet tinged with emotion. "But I'm learning to own them, learn from them, and grow." Now, picture this scene. Will sitting alone in a dimly lit library late at night, surrounded by towering shelves filled with books. The room is quiet, except for the soft hum of a desk lamp casting a warm glow over the space. He wears a charcoal gray sweater with a subtle pattern, paired with dark jeans and leather loafers. His short, wavy hair is styled neatly, though slightly tousled from running his hands through it during moments of reflection. On the table before him lies a leather-bound journal, its pages filled with handwritten notes and sketches. His expression conveys a mix of contemplation and resolve as he pauses to read a passage aloud, his voice barely audible above the silence. And that's when the fourth hint drops. Instead of retreating into the shadows after the scandal, Will Smith made a bold decision to lean into his role as a public figure. He knew that if he wanted to rebuild trust not just with his fans but with himself, he needed to take action. This wasn't about damage control or PR stunts. It was about proving through deeds that he was committed to using his platform for good. Will launched a series of town hall meetings across the United States, inviting community leaders, activists, and everyday citizens to engage in open dialogues about systemic issues like poverty, racism, and inequality. These gatherings weren't held in glitzy auditoriums or high-profile venues. They took place in schools, churches, and community centers, places where real people gathered to discuss their struggles and hopes. Each meeting began with Will sitting on stage, not behind a podium, but at eye level with the audience, dressed simply in a white t-shirt, dark jeans, and sneakers, his short, wavy hair styled neatly. His demeanor was humble, approachable, and genuine. At one such event in Chicago, a young woman named Maya stood up during the Q&A session, her voice trembling as she spoke about the challenges of growing up in a neighborhood plagued by violence and lack of resources. Will listened intently, nodding along before responding softly, "I hear you, Maya, and I want you to know that your voice matters." He then announced plans to partner with local organizations to fund after-school programs aimed at keeping kids off the streets and providing them with safe spaces to learn and grow. But it didn't stop there. Will also used his influence to produce documentaries highlighting unsung heroes working in social justice. One film followed a teacher in rural Mississippi who had dedicated her life to improving literacy rates among underprivileged children. Another profiled a group of activists fighting against police brutality in urban areas. These projects were raw, unfiltered, and deeply moving, showcasing the resilience and strength of ordinary people making extraordinary differences. Now, picture this scene. Will walking through the bustling streets of New York City, heading toward a community center where another town hall meeting is set to take place. The city hums with energy around him, honking cars, chatter of pedestrians, and the distant sound of sirens. He wears a simple white t-shirt, dark jeans, and sneakers, his short wavy hair styled neatly despite the slight breeze. A leather messenger bag hangs across his chest, containing notes and materials for the discussion ahead. As he steps inside the center, the room falls silent, and all eyes turn to him. The lighting is warm, with sunlight streaming through large windows, casting soft patterns on the walls. His expression conveys determination mixed with empathy as he takes his seat at the front of the room, ready to listen and learn. And that's when the fifth hint drops. As Will Smith delved deeper into his mission to create meaningful change, he encountered an unexpected ally who would become instrumental in amplifying his efforts. Dr. Elena Martinez, a renowned social psychologist specializing in trauma recovery and community development, crossed paths with Will during one of his town hall meetings. Her expertise in addressing intergenerational trauma resonated deeply with Will, whose own experiences had taught him the importance of healing from past wounds. Dr. Martinez, known for her no-nonsense approach and passion for empowering marginalized communities, was initially skeptical when she first met Will. After all, celebrities often dabble in activism without truly understanding the complexities of systemic issues. But as she listened to him speak candidly about his struggles and ambitions, she began to see something different, a man genuinely committed to making a difference. Will isn't just talking, she later recalled in an interview. He's walking the walk. Together, they developed Healing Roots, an ambitious program aimed at tackling the root causes of trauma within underserved communities. The initiative combined mental health resources, job training, and mentorship opportunities to empower individuals and families. One key component of the program involved creating safe spaces where participants could share their stories, connect with others facing similar challenges, and build resilience together. The collaboration between Will and Dr. Martinez proved to be transformative not just for the communities they served, but also for Will himself. Working alongside someone with such deep knowledge and experience forced him to confront uncomfortable truths about privilege, power dynamics, and the limitations of traditional philanthropy. Elena challenged me in ways I didn't expect, Will admitted during a private meeting with the program staff. She pushed me to think bigger, act smarter, and listen harder. Now, picture this scene. Will and Dr. Martinez standing side by side on a sunny afternoon, addressing a group of participants gathered in a park. The setting is serene yet vibrant, with tall trees swaying gently in the breeze and colorful banners fluttering overhead. Both wear casual yet professional attire, Will in a light beige linen shirt paired with khaki pants and leather loafers, his short wavy hair styled neatly. Dr. Martinez in a navy blue blazer over a white blouse, her expression conveying authority and warmth. The golden hour bathes the scene in soft, warm light, highlighting the energy and camaraderie among the participants. As Will speaks, his voice carries conviction, while Dr. Martinez occasionally chimes in with insights that deepen the conversation. And that's when the sixth hint drops. Despite the overwhelming evidence of Will Smith's secret philanthropy, not everyone was ready to embrace his newfound transparency. Critics, ever skeptical, questioned whether this sudden outpouring of goodwill was genuine or merely a calculated attempt to salvage his tarnished reputation. After all, in an age where public perception can make or break careers, it wasn't hard for some to view these revelations as nothing more than damage control. To counteract the doubt, Will took an unprecedented step, invited independent auditors to review his financial records. These weren't just any auditors. They were renowned experts known for their impartiality and integrity. The findings were staggering. Tens of millions of dollars donated over the years to causes ranging from education reform to criminal justice advocacy. Each transaction was meticulously documented, leaving no room for doubt about the sincerity of his efforts. But numbers alone couldn't silence every critic. Some argued that good deeds shouldn't require validation through audits or media attention. Others pointed to past missteps, suggesting that even if Will had done great things, his actions at the Oscars overshadowed them. People want consistency, one commentator noted during a televised panel discussion. They want to know that someone isn't just doing the right thing when it suits them. Will acknowledged these concerns head on. In a rare interview, he addressed the skeptics directly, saying, "I get it, I messed up. But I also believe that redemption isn't about erasing mistakes, it's about learning from them and using your platform to do better." His words carried weight, but so did his actions. To further prove his commitment, Will launched a series of initiatives designed to address systemic issues head-on, ensuring that his contributions would leave a lasting impact. Now, picture this scene. Will standing in front of a large conference table in a modern office space, flanked by members of his team. The room is bathed in soft daylight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting warm hues across sleek wooden surfaces and minimalist decor. He wears a charcoal gray suit with a navy blue tie, paired with polished leather shoes. His short wavy hair is styled neatly, and his expression conveys both confidence and humility. On the table before him lies a stack of documents detailing the results of the audit, along with plans for future projects. As he speaks, his voice carries conviction, addressing the skeptics while maintaining eye contact with those present. And that's when the seventh hint drops. With the dust settling on the scandal and his secret philanthropy revealed, Will Smith embarked on a new chapter of his life, a chapter defined not by controversy or fame, but by authenticity and purpose. He refocused his career on projects that aligned with his values, using his platform to amplify voices often overlooked in mainstream media. Will produced documentaries that brought attention to unsung heroes working tirelessly in social justice movements. One film followed a grassroots organization fighting for environmental equity in urban areas, while another profiled a teacher whose innovative methods transformed education in underfunded schools. These stories were raw, unfiltered, and deeply moving, resonating with audiences worldwide. By highlighting these individuals, Will aimed to inspire others to action in their own communities. Beyond filmmaking, Will launched a podcast series titled Rising Together, where he engaged in candid conversations with activists, thinkers, and everyday people making a difference. Each episode delved into topics ranging from mental health to systemic racism, fostering dialogue and encouraging listeners to reflect on their roles in creating positive change. The show quickly gained traction, becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration for millions. At the same time, Will prioritized healing within his personal life. Public displays of affection between him and wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, demonstrated their commitment to rebuilding their relationship after the tumultuous year. Fans appreciated seeing this vulnerable side of the couple, reminding them that even icons face challenges and grow through them. During a joint interview, Jada praised Will's journey, saying, "He's been doing the work not just out there in the world, but inside himself." Now picture this scene. Will recording an episode of Rising Together in a cozy studio space bathed in warm light. The room features exposed brick walls, plush armchairs, and bookshelves, lined with titles on social justice and self-improvement. He wears a soft gray sweater over a white-collared shirt paired with dark jeans and leather loafers. His short wavy hair is styled neatly, and his expression conveys genuine curiosity as he listens intently to his guest, nodding along and occasionally jotting notes in a leather-bound notebook. The atmosphere is intimate yet professional, inviting both participants and listeners into the conversation. And that's when the eighth hint drops. With his reputation slowly mending and newfound respect from the public, Will Smith turned his focus toward leaving a lasting legacy. He established a foundation dedicated to fostering leadership among young people from diverse backgrounds, a reflection of his belief that true change begins with empowering the next generation. The foundation, aptly named Roots of Tomorrow, aimed to bridge gaps in opportunity by providing mentorship, resources, and platforms for underrepresented voices. Through partnerships with schools, corporations, and governments, the foundation implemented innovative programs designed to inspire and equip young leaders. One initiative, called Visionary Minds, connected students with mentors who had overcome similar challenges, offering guidance and encouragement as they navigated their paths forward. Another program, Empowered Futures, provided scholarships and internships to students pursuing careers in fields like technology, healthcare, and social justice. Will personally invested time and energy into the foundation, attending events, speaking at conferences, and engaging directly with participants. During one such event, held in a bustling community center on a crisp autumn evening, he addressed a room filled with eager young faces. Wearing a navy blue blazer over a white shirt paired with dark jeans and polished leather shoes, his short wavy hair styled neatly, he spoke with passion and conviction. "You are the architects of tomorrow," he declared, his voice resonating through the space. "And I believe in each and every one of you." The success of the foundation was evident not only in its reach, but also in the stories of those it touched. Students mentored by the program went on to achieve remarkable success, proving that even small investments of time and resources could yield transformative results. As word spread about the foundation's impact, support grew, drawing in influential figures across industries who shared Will's vision for a brighter future. Now, picture this scene. Will standing on a stage inside a modern auditorium, addressing a crowd of young participants during an award ceremony hosted by the foundation. The room is bathed in warm golden light, with large windows framing a view of the city skyline outside. He wears a navy blue blazer, white shirt, dark jeans, and leather shoes. His short, wavy hair styled neatly. His expression conveys pride and hope as he looks out at the audience, many of whom are dressed in formal attire, beaming with excitement. Behind him, a banner reads, "Roots of Tomorrow, Building Leaders Today." And that's when the ninth hint drops. For the AI-generated photo prompt, a middle-aged man stands on a stage inside a modern auditorium, addressing a diverse crowd of young participants during an award ceremony. The room features large windows framing a stunning city skyline, with warm golden light illuminating the space. The man wears a navy blue blazer, white shirt, dark jeans, and leather shoes, his short, wavy hair styled neatly. His expression reflects pride and hope as he engages with the audience, who are dressed in formal attire and visibly excited. A banner behind him reads, "Roots of Tomorrow, Building Leaders Today." Perspective is medium distance, capturing both the speaker and the engaged audience. In a heartfelt interview that would go down as one of the most defining moments of his career, Will Smith sat down to reflect on his journey, a journey marked by triumphs, controversies, and ultimately redemption. As cameras rolled and millions tuned in, he spoke candidly about the lessons he had learned, the mistakes he had made, and the person he aspired to become. His words carried weight, resonating with audiences who had grown accustomed to seeing him as both a flawed human being and an inspiring figure. "I've spent my life chasing dreams," Will began, his voice steady but tinged with emotion, "but I realize now that the greatest dream is to leave the world better than you found it." These words encapsulated everything he had worked toward, not just in the aftermath of the Oscar scandal, but throughout his entire life. From funding scholarships for underprivileged children to advocating for racial equality, Will's actions were driven by a desire to create meaningful change, even when no one was watching. The interview wasn't just about looking back, it was also about looking forward. Will shared his vision for the future, where individuals from all walks of life could come together to address the challenges facing society. He emphasized the importance of empathy, accountability, and collaboration, urging others to join him in this mission. "We're all works in progress," he said, his expression conveying vulnerability and hope. "If we can embrace our flaws and strive to improve, then maybe, just maybe, we can create a brighter tomorrow for ourselves and for those around us." As the interview concluded, the host asked Will what he wanted his legacy to be. Without hesitation, he replied, "I want to be remembered as someone who tried, someone who saw the pain in the world and did what they could to ease it, someone who wasn't afraid to admit their mistakes and learn from them." Now, picture this scene: Will sitting in a softly lit studio, surrounded by warm wooden tones and subtle textures that evoke comfort and sincerity. The lighting is golden, casting gentle shadows across the space and highlighting the intimacy of the moment. He wears a dark charcoal gray suit with a light blue shirt, unbuttoned at the collar, paired with polished leather shoes. His short, wavy hair is styled neatly, framing his face as he leans slightly forward, engaging fully with the interviewer. Behind him, a faint mural depicting interconnected hands symbolizes unity and connection, subtly reinforcing the themes of his message. And that's when the 10th hint drops. And that's where our story ends. What did you think of this story? Share your emotions in the comments below. We'd love to know what you remember most. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more unforgettable stories. And if you are in the mood for another exciting story, check out our next video. It's waiting for you. Until then, stay curious, get inspired, and keep exploring the stories that make life extraordinary. See you in the next one.